How y'all doing tonight? We are going to be cooking one of my favorite dishes tonight. Real down-home southern type dish. It's called country fried steak. Some people call it chicken fried steak. We're going to have that with some homemade macaroni and cheese, and maybe some corn. I think some nice corn right off the cob. As always goes well with that. And we'll try to make a white gravy. So I'm going to go ahead and get some of this stuff put together. Have me a little battering station for this steak. I've got some tenderized. I think it was a top sirloin or top round steak. You know, it's just what's on sale. It's that thin steak. The butcher run it through the tenderizer. Kind of the same steak you just make a hamburger steak out of or something like that. So I've got some of that soaked in buttermilk in the refrigerator. I'm going to go ahead and get everything set up here so we can begin. Okay, first thing we'll do, we'll ready our battering station here. I've got a little grate put over the sink so we can put the steak on once it's battered. Got some flour here in this pie pan. This is a pretty good bit of flour. I have 8 little pieces of the steak. I've got about a tablespoon of slap your mama, a good tablespoon of black pepper, a teaspoon of salt, and a teaspoon of cayenne pepper. We'll season this flour up pretty good. Okay, so I can mix that around in the flour. Also, I've got an egg wash going to happen with this. I've got 2 eggs over here, just cracked. I'm going to add some Lee & Perrins Worcestershire sauce, a couple shakes of it. Okay, and also has some hot sauce. If it's Louisiana hot sauce or whatever hot sauce you like, and a couple drops of it. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and mix the batter up, mix these eggs up, and get everything ready to go. Okay, now I've got everything mixed up, got the eggs mixed up, got the flour mixed up. I've got my meat over here. It's been soaking in buttermilk probably for about 30 minutes put a little bit of hot sauce, a little bit of black pepper in that buttermilk. Okay, so here's the little pieces of meat I've got here. If you can see the size, you know, just small steaks here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go first from the buttermilk into the flour. Alright, one little flip in the flour. Then I'm going to take it from the flour over here to my egg wash. Alright, get that egg wash all over. There we go. Now for my egg wash, I'm going to go back in the flour one more time. Just want to make sure you drip most of this liquid off before you go back in here. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and kind of cover that. Okay, we should get everything to stick nicely. Alright, that. Make sure we don't have any little spots that didn't get covered. Alright, and there we go. Nicely battered little piece. I'm going to go ahead and set that on my rack here and let that dry a bit. So I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of these and I'll be right back to you. Alright, now that I've got all my beef breaded and sitting here on the side, it's all floured up, I'm going to let that sit for just a bit while we go ahead and get started on some of our sides here. I'm going to go ahead and start on this macaroni and cheese. So what I've got here, I've got a pot boiling. Let's see, hopefully, yeah, well, just about to boil. As soon as that comes to boil, I'm going to go ahead and put in about a half a pound of macaroni noodles. And we're going to let that hang out in there, boil for about 8 minutes. Okay, while that's boiling, we'll go ahead and start on our cheese sauce for our macaroni. I've got 2 eggs here. Go ahead and crack these, get those in a bowl. Alright. Beat these up a little bit. Alright. So scramble up 2 eggs. I've also got some spices here. I have got 1 teaspoon of salt, a half a teaspoon of fresh ground black pepper, 3/4 teaspoon of dried mustard. Okay, let me go ahead and take this lid off before it's boiling over. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and add this to my egg mixture. Okay, so like I said, that's 1 teaspoon salt, a half a teaspoon of ground black pepper, 3/4 teaspoon or a teaspoon of dried mustard. Okay, now I've got, this is some evaporated milk right here. I've got about 6 ounces of it. I had 2 eggs, 6 ounces of evaporated milk, and those spices. Go ahead and have that all nice and mixed up there, because once my noodles are done and drained, this is going to go into my noodles. Okay, now that I let my noodles cook for the 7 or 8 minutes, go ahead and add 4 tablespoons of butter. I strained them off already. And I've got that mix that I've cooked up with the egg, or that I mixed up. Here, I'm going to go ahead and add just a little bit, maybe about a teaspoon of this sriracha, just because I like it. I like things a little bit spicy as far as my macaroni and everything goes. It's a really great sauce. I usually put on macaroni anyway. So we'll go ahead and just get that in there. It'll give it a little bit of a kick. Okay, right now while it's really hot still, I'm going to go ahead and stir this butter in here and just melt this butter. Okay, so we're going to do this over a low heat. Let's see. And now I'm going to start adding some cheese. I have about, need about 12 ounces or so of cheese, I guess, 10 to 12 ounces. I've got a couple of these leftover bags of sharp cheddar. Go ahead and add a couple of these. And then I've got one full bag that had 8 ounces in it, so they're probably about 10 to 12 ounces. Just let that cheese melt in there. Like a finely ground cheddar, sharp cheddar, I think. Any kind of cheese will do, whatever you like. Okay, and once this cheese starts melting a little bit, I'm gonna go ahead and get this this milk and egg mixture in there. Didn't want to put it in right at first because I just wanted to kind of temper it in to where it's not directly on there when things are so hot before that cheese starts to melt. So I'm just going to keep stirring it now. I don't want to stop stirring it because I don't want those eggs to scramble or anything. But like I said, we're still on just really low heat. Just going to keep it stirring until you get that cheese and everything melted. So I'm going to go ahead and probably stir this for about 2 or 3 minutes because this is coming out, looks really good now. I'm just going to melt a little bit of this, a little bit more of this cheese. Okay, now that I got this all melted down, I'm going to take it off the heat. I'm going to put it in a little bit of baking pan here. I'm going to cover it with foil. I'm going to stick it in the oven just on warm, just to keep it hot and keep it good. It'll be delicious once we get everything fried up as our side. Alright, now what we're going to do, kind of switch gears here. We're going to switch over to the frying station. I've got my cast iron skillet out, about a half-inch oil in there, getting that heated up. Now I've got 2 cans of just whole kernel corn. I'm going to get those going on the back burner here, just on low. Those will be really good with this dish too. So I'm going to wait for this oil to heat up with these 2 cans of corn, probably a couple tablespoons of butter, a little salt in there, and let that just chill while this oil heats up. Alright, I think our oil's gotten hot enough now, so we're going to go ahead and put the first piece on here. And grab that too. Just ease it on down. Yeah. Could be a little hotter. I'm going to try to make room for as many as I can. Alright, I'm going to let this go for about 2 or 3 minutes on this side, then we're going to flip it. Alright, it's been about 3 minutes on this first side, so I'm going to go ahead and flip them. Get that nice golden brown on there. There we go. Like I said, this pan will make some great gravy. And yeah, it's the same way you kind of do pan fried chicken. It's in shallow oil, you know, with the, when you get that nice brown sear on there, it's just perfect. We'll switch these two around for 2 seconds. You know, you have a hot area and a cold area in the pan, you gotta count for that. So I'm gonna go ahead and let them go for 2 or 3 minutes on this side. Alright, they've been about 3 minutes on this side, so I'm going to go ahead, start just getting them out of the pan, put them over here on the cooling rack, and they look beautiful. I'm going to get that the next batch in. As soon as I just scoop some of the extra crust and stuff out of there, you just don't want that to burn in your oil. Those are fantastic looking, I tell you, I couldn't be more proud. So I'm going to go ahead and just scoop some of these big crumbs, big bits out like that. Just get my oil cleaned up just a little bit. And the good thing about this egg-based batter is it's not like just a flour batter where you have a bunch of flour in there that burns. It's these bigger pieces so you can go ahead and scoop it out. It doesn't hurt anything. You don't have to strain your oil. So we'll go ahead and do that. I'm going to get this next batch in here. And I'll be right back. Okay, got all my country fried steak off. All came out good. Got my pan draining most of the grease. Scraped any really burnt bits off the bottom. Gonna go ahead and put in, so it's about 3 or 4 tablespoons of butter. Let that melt. Also have some milk. Over here we've got 3 cups of milk. And I put about a teaspoon of this Better Than Bouillon beef-based stuff in here. I just think it gives it a good flavor. Kind of helps it to brown up. Okay. Moving this butter around here. Go ahead and get it melted in the pan. That's fine. See some of those good black bits. It's just going to be flavor. Flavor in this pan. Turn this corn down. Stir that a second. Okay, now I got most of that butter melted. I've got a 1/3 cup of flour. It's regular, white flour. What we're going to do here, we're going to make a roux. Alright? You got to stir this and you can't quit stirring it. You know how it is making a roux. If you quit stirring it, it's going to burn. What we're trying to do basically here, we're just trying to cook this flour. Just brown a little bit. It doesn't take long in these cast iron pans. I don't know why they're so quick. I guess it's because they hold heat so well, but you will brown flour really quick. Just this old cast iron pan here. You see how it's just cooking down, it's getting thin? Well, that's fine, because we're going to add this milk to it, and it's going to thicken this milk up, and we'll have a nice milky gravy. It's going to be wonderful. Okay. Just stir this around here just for a minute. Just get that flour taste out of there. Probably do it for about a minute, like I said. And you can smell flour start giving off kind of a nutty smell. And that's when it's done. It's cooked off all that floury taste. Keep sniffing every once in a while. That smells good now. So I'm going to go ahead and start adding this milk to it. I'm going to add about a cup and a half, 2 cups there. That's probably about a cup and a half. I'm going to stir this up. And you just watch here in a second. This is really going to thicken up quick. It's going to really thicken this gravy. Go ahead and turn this heat on down. Take just a minute. But I'm going to let it boil up just a second. But as soon as that stuff starts to bubble, you'll see here in just a second, it'll be getting thick. See, it's already thickening. Look at it. As soon as it sits, there we go. Perfect consistency right there. But it's going to thicken up a lot more than that, so I'm going to have to add more of this milk. Okay, you just got to be kind of quick with it because you don't want this to burn. This gets so thick and it'll just stick to this pan. So I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit more of this milk and just keep stirring. I'll do the same thing again. It's going to get thin, and then it'll thicken back up. So let's see how much milk I got left. I got about a cup more milk. So I'm going to keep doing this for about this last cup of milk until I use up all this milk and get it all incorporated in here, and then we'll be ready to start serving. Okay, went ahead and got most of that milk put in there. Now taste it. Now I'm going to show you a little secret. It's about the right consistency. You start pulling some of these little looser pieces of batter off of the off your country fried steak. Some little pieces on the ends. You just kind of crumble them up and you put them in that gravy. Man, I want to tell you what. You talk about some goodness. I don't know what it is, but you get that little texture, you get that little bit of crunch, a little bit of that beef taste in there. It is divine. So go ahead and put a couple of those little crumbs in there. Go ahead and stir it up one more time here. It looks really good. I'm going to turn the heat off. And now we're about to get ready to serve this stuff. This looks great. Yeah. And let's see, my pliers here. Alright. First off, we got a nice piece of this country fried steak over here. Nice piece there. Go ahead and get some of this corn. Oh yeah. Nice buttery corn. Then get some of this, I got this macaroni over here. You got to see this macaroni. You can see that far over there. I got it baked off in that pan. Let's see. Perfect. It just firmed up just perfect. Nice ooey gooey macaroni and cheese.
Hey.
That sharp cheddar cheese.
Nothing. What are you doing?
Alright, put that up there like that, and now you gotta have some of that gravy. Go ahead and get a big spoon here. Get you some of this gravy. Put it right over that country fried steak. And I tell you couldn't ask for a better dish. That is some home southern cooking right there. That is some good stuff. So try this recipe, and I hope you enjoy it. Tell you a little secret I like to do. I went ahead and put my piece in the pan with the gravy and just coat it with that gravy. Then you take it out like that and you set it on that plate, and it ain't nothing finer than that.